Welcome back to another video. Today I will be teaching you how to do some drag glitches, do a bit of hinge glitching, and just how to build a pretty decent plane, get you started off. Today I will not be using a gyro to show you that you don't need a gyro to make a good plane. You can use it, it's not bad to use it, do what you want. But today I will be showing you how to, just get it done, get a nice plane going, and just a little average tutorial. I'll mainly be having a voiceover because this takes a while and I need to speed it up. Plus also I just don't really have very much to talk about. He'll find something else to do in the future, but till then, enjoy. I will be talking right now until I let you guys know. I'll pass it off to Jack, alright? Join it down. But yeah, we'll just get off with a normal build. I'll even incorporate landing gear into it. I'll probably do it on a separate one because, well, it's not easy to fit. There is a complexity limit in this game. It will hamper the ability to do that kind of stuff. So, show you how to do it. I'll do drag glitching, pistons, hinges, all that jazz, and then after that, I'll show you how to put some landing gear into a plane. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I'm starting off with the front of the vehicle. I usually go with a frame first. I get a visual of what's going to happen, right? And then I start to work on the body. After I get the body into the shape that I want more of, so I start to work more towards the cockpit. When you want to find a good place for the cockpit and just set it down, right? Get the cockpit in there, get the canopy over the cockpit with the piston glitch, and then if there's any problems with it, figure it out later. Just deactivate the piston or something. You don't need to do that immediately. I recommend finishing off with that at the end of the build so that you have a essence of what you're gonna be doing with the canopy and you also don't want to immediately just work on the body and have no cockpit, because then you're not going to be able to find a place to put it. You don't want the seat to be inside the vehicle. I want it to be where the cockpit should be. But you don't always have to do that. Sometimes it's better to just throw it somewhere else. But for my purpose sakes, I like to put it where it should be. As you'll see, I have some problems with it, so I just kind of forget about it, turn it upside down, because you can also do that. If you turn it upside down, it ignores the laws of physics for some reason. It just phases into box. Moving on from that, I'm gonna start working on that engine placement. I'm making an area for the engines to go. I'm disguising it as like the intake kind of area, and it looks better on, trust me. It might look kind of finicky. I usually only work on one side of the build first and then copy everything over, but you do what you want to do. And you also got to remember, mirror mode doesn't work with auto width builds. I like to do auto width builds. It makes it look cleaner. You get to be able to do things nicer, and it's all around just better. But you don't have to. You don't have to if you don't want to. Even with builds are still good. They're still gonna win battles. You do what you want to do. No, I prefer it. You prefer it. It's pineapple on pizza. Do what you want. In general, I'm starting to like how the build's coming out. I'm gonna start to make an area for like my wings to go, but I want to get the back of the plane done first so that I can for sure know where I want to put the wings, because you might want to extend the plane, you might want to shorten it down, you might want to make it wider, you might want to make it smaller. It's all good, but you gotta finish the tail first. If you don't finish the tail, then you don't know if you want to extend it or do anything. I was kind of messing up here. I wanted to make like cowlings for the engines, right? Make it look like there's afterburners and stuff. You don't got to do that, but I prefer it. And now I'm just trying to space everything out, because I tried to get it and then it looked boxy, so then I just went with the original shape and I went back to it because I actually found a better way for it to look. It was much better and it was much more sleek. You'll see here soon. I basically got the tail done, then I started working on the horizontal stabilizer. I had a bunch of trouble with the horizontal stabilizer, but I kind of went with this F4 Phantom kind of tail design at first, but then after I got done messing with the cockpit a bit more, I went back to the tail, and I kind of worked on like the engine bay more, and then I went to the tail, and then the engine bay. I was kind of all over the place with this one. It was more of just do and do, until you get it. Other than that, yeah, I was enjoying the build so far. You gotta really take your time. This took me 2 hours and 40 minutes, something like that. And really, the entire process was kind of enjoyable. It just went along. But now I'm going to work on the horizontal stabilizer. And I like how it's looking. It kind of just popped off immediately, but then I looked at the tail again and I was like, those don't really match. I like the horizontal and the vertical, but I like the horizontal more. So I'm going to try and make the vertical match the horizontal a tad bit more, but it just was not working. I was trying and trying and couldn't find a design that I liked on. It was really surprising how hard it was to figure out what I liked, but I eventually found it. Like this. It was basically just a smaller version of the Four Phantoms, but Sailor Moon, I don't know. Yeah. So, like I said, I usually work on one side, but I wanted to test it, so I just put that over there, and it was flying pretty well. Like I said, no gyros at all, and that was what it was doing. Surprising, right? Something no gyros. I mean, if you don't know what a gyro is, it's basically it will make movement in the direction that you want, even if you have nothing propelling it that way. But now I'm working on the hinge glitch and where to put the wings. I am basically trying to figure out what I want to do for the wings here. I'm working with the hinge glitch. You don't always have to do a hinge glitch, but it does help. Uh, it is a bit finicky though. I do recommend not raging immediately. It just takes time and patience. You really gotta work with it. Also, keynote, it doesn't like to work if everything is symmetrical. I recommend at least misplacing a few things. Yes, it might not look the best, but at least you're not gonna have a kraken on your hand. But yeah, I'm looking at the design of the wing. I'm liking how this is looking, but I don't like how thin it is. So I'm basically working on it and seeing if I like this. But I'm gonna extend it out like this because it looks so much better. But at the same time, later on, I didn't like how thick it was, but I didn't change it. It was just it works, and if it works, it's good. You can take more time on it if you want to. You don't have to take time on a build. If you want to just get a build out, you can. But all in all, it's fun to take more time on a plane. But I was mainly just getting everything going, making sure all the control surfaces and panels were working, and making some final things. I was making it to where the wings, they also do pitch. You use an XOR gate, logic gate, and you connect it to all the wings, and well, not all the wings, just connect it to the control surfaces on the wings, and make it do pitch. You can do the same thing with tail and make it do roll if you want to. You don't have to, but as you can see, it makes it a lot more maneuverable. But after I did that and make sure it's doing what it wants to do, I mess with the wings a tad bit more so that, like I said, the odd width thing, the hinge isn't messing with anything. And then I add like the intakes. I make the intakes look more actual like intakes. And yeah, that's about it. Alrighty, everybody, welcome back. I have finished the build. I am now fully done with the base design. We have intakes. We have a nice body that looks pretty decent in my opinion. I mean, there's a bit to be desired. It kind of looks a bit thick wide. I can't find the words for it, but this area looks a bit weird to me, but I don't really want to extend the plane and make it any bigger than it is. We're already at 494 complexity, and I still gotta add in landing gear. Not even to mention the non-drag design that I need to do with the drag glitch. So far we got the hinge glitch, we got the piston glitch, and yeah, so far pretty decent. Not too many problems I came across. Jack would have probably told you that if there was any issues, but yeah, all around pretty decent design. Flies pretty nice. I'll show you. It's all around pretty decent. Remember, this has no gyros in it, so it's not going to be the most maneuverable thing, but for something that doesn't have gyros, it's doing pretty well. Now, I'm not going to add any guns to this because it does hamper the performance of like speed and everything. If you want to, because I'm going to be putting this into the workshop, if you guys want it, you can have it and put it on guns to it, but I probably won't in the near future. So yeah, up to you guys what you want to do with it. I'll be giving it to you. All you gotta do is I'll give you the name afterwards, and if I don't, I'll put it in the comments for you guys to see. But yeah, I'm going to start to work on the landing gear design version of this. I don't exactly know what I'm fully going to do, but yeah, you'll see when you guys get back. everybody, I have finished the version with a landing gear. As you can see, it looks a bit thicker up in the front, but that's fine. And I also had to do this because the landing gear just did not want to fit in there correctly with what I needed to do. So it works out. It's looking still perfectly good. And I don't know if I'm going to leave it in there, but if you did, you can see that I was taxiing around a tad bit. I can just taxi there and look at me. It's so funny. But yeah, you can taxi around and everything, and let's take off. Nice simple takeoff. Just like a normal plane. Flies pretty great. You do have to do a kind of special thing to, or you could just kind of like repair. That also works if you do that. It's probably the easier option, but if you just like double click it should come out normally. But yeah, still pretty decently maneuverable for all that weight that's in there now. I did have to move the cockpit seat further back into the vehicle to fit it in there, but it's whatever. It still works, and still pretty nice, fast, and yeah, pretty all around good plane. I'm pretty happy with this one myself. I would say it's one of my more better planes, especially for something that's not dragged or uses gyros. But I mean, that's not really important in any real reason. Uh, yeah, but yeah, other than that, pretty decent plane all around. I will be having to do the drag glitch in the next video though, because I mean, maybe not. I can just give a quick example of it. I don't have to do it on this plane because there's no more complexity left on this. If I do it, there's not even going to be enough to do it. So yeah, but here I'll give a quick example of drag glitch. I could honestly just show you what drag glitch is by taking out one of my other builds. So that's drag glitch. You basically just put a detachable block in front of any drag piece that, you know, in general, just anything. Put it in front of it and then have it set to make scrap. It's better if you have like a distance sensor set to it to where it can like immediately detach it. So you'd basically just grab a distance sensor, set it to the max distance, and then put it on to every detachable block so that it will immediately get rid of it. It's not needed, but it does make it easier for you. Plus also, it doesn't exactly have to be a it doesn't have to be a detachable block, but just it just doesn't have to be a detachable block. You can use any block as long as it's connected to the detachable block. But make sure you don't have anything touching another connection point because that doesn't work. But see, yeah. And now if I would take off, this plane can now go very fast with very little power needed. See, brakes sound very easy, you can go past that. And plus it still has drag on it. That front nose cone piece, that still has drag. I did that so it's not immediately, breaking the sound barrier, but if you have every single thing on your build dragged, glitched, it will go faster than what you need. So all around, yeah, this plane's I'm pretty happy with. I'm going to, what should I call it? Well, it's a fighter, so an F. Hmm. The F. Ooh. Could it? So the F50I. Yeah, I like that. The F50I. I'll name this the F50I. But yep. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want this plane, just go on the workshop and look up F50I and you'll see it. Should be right up there. But yeah, other than that, you all have a great one. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope I helped you learn a few things. But other than that, you all have a great one.